Welcome back, history buffs. Today, we're diving into the lives and legacies of the 8 best U.S. presidents of the 1800s. These leaders shaped the nation during a century of growth, conflict, and change. Let's get started. 8. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, from 1801 to 1809, was marked by significant achievements and impactful policies that helped shape the early republic. One of Jefferson's most significant accomplishments was the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. He acquired approximately 828,000 square miles of territory from France for $15 million, effectively doubling the size of the United States. Jefferson was a strong advocate for a limited federal government. He worked to reduce the national debt and decrease government spending, reflecting his belief in a frugal and restrained federal authority. His emphasis on states' rights and individual liberties aligned with the principles of republicanism and the idea that government should be close to the people it governs. Jefferson faced significant challenges in foreign policy, particularly with Britain and France, who were at war and interfering with American trade. In response, he implemented the Embargo Act of 1807, aiming to protect American interests by prohibiting trade with foreign nations. 7. James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States, served from 1817 to 1825. His presidency is often remembered for the era of good feelings. The Monroe Doctrine, articulated in 1823, was a defining moment in American foreign policy. It asserted that the Western Hemisphere was off limits to new European colonization and that any attempt to interfere in the Americas would be seen as an act of aggression against the U.S. Monroe's presidency is often referred to as the era of good feelings due to the decline of partisan politics following the War of 1812. The Federalist Party had largely collapsed, and the Democratic-Republican Party was dominant, leading to a period of political unity and national purpose. In 1820, Monroe signed the Missouri Compromise, which was a critical effort to maintain the balance of power between free and slave states. The compromise allowed Missouri to enter the Union as a slave state and Maine as a free state while prohibiting slavery in the remainder of the Louisiana Territory north of the 36°30' parallel. Monroe continued the policy of westward expansion, promoting the settlement of new territories and states. This expansion was facilitated by treaties and negotiations, such as the Adams-Onis Treaty with Spain in 1819, which secured Florida for the United States. 6. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States 1825 to 1829. He advocated for the construction of roads, canals, and railways, which he believed were essential for the nation's economic development and unity. Adams proposed the establishment of a national university and a national observatory, emphasizing the importance of education and scientific advancement for the country's progress. Adams supported Henry Clay's American System, which aimed to strengthen and diversify the American economy through protective tariffs, a national bank, and internal improvements. This approach was designed to promote industrial growth and self-sufficiency. Before becoming president, Adams had a distinguished career as a diplomat, serving in various roles including minister to the Netherlands, Prussia, Russia, and the United Kingdom. He also played a key role in negotiating the Treaty of Ghent, which ended the War of 1812. 5. Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States 1829 to 1837, is often celebrated for his significant contributions to American politics and his role in shaping the modern presidency. Jackson is often hailed as the first people's president. He expanded democratic participation by advocating for the rights of the common man against what he perceived as a corrupt aristocracy. His election marked a shift towards greater inclusion of the broader population in the political process. While controversial, Jackson's introduction of the spoils system democratized government by rotating officeholders and giving more people the opportunity to participate in government, breaking the hold of entrenched elites. Jackson's vehement opposition to the Second Bank of the United States was rooted in his belief that it concentrated too much power in the hands of a wealthy elite. His efforts culminated in the Bank War, where he vetoed the renewal of the bank's charter and removed federal deposits, ultimately leading to the bank's demise. Jackson faced the nullification crisis in 1832 to 1833, when South Carolina attempted to nullify federal tariffs. Jackson responded firmly by asserting the supremacy of federal law and threatening military action against South Carolina. His strong stance preserved the Union and demonstrated his commitment to maintaining national unity. 4. James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States 1845 to 1849. His presidency is notable for significant accomplishments that expanded the nation's territory and strengthened its economy. Polk's presidency is most renowned for the successful prosecution of the Mexican-American War 1846 to 1848, which resulted in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. This treaty significantly expanded U.S. territory, adding what are now California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Texas. Polk implemented the Walker Tariff of 1846, which lowered tariffs and aimed to stimulate trade and economic growth. This policy helped boost the American economy and was well received by southern and western states. Polk restored the independent treasury system, which separated the federal government's finances from private banks. This move stabilized the national economy and ensured greater control over federal funds. Polk's decisive and hands-on approach to leadership strengthened the executive branch. He was deeply involved in policymaking and often worked closely with Congress to ensure his initiatives were passed. The land acquired during Polk's presidency laid the foundation for future American growth and development. The new territories provided vast resources and opportunities for settlement, contributing significantly to the nation's expansion. 3. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States 1861 to 1865, is widely regarded as one of the greatest presidents in American history. Lincoln's primary goal as president was to preserve the Union. He demonstrated extraordinary leadership and resolve in navigating the country through its most challenging period. His ability to maintain national unity and morale during the Civil War was crucial to the eventual victory of the Union forces. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863, which declared the freedom of all slaves in Confederate-held territory. This executive order transformed the fight to preserve the Union into a battle for human freedom and weakened the Confederacy by encouraging enslaved people to flee or rebel. Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, delivered on November 19, 1863, is one of the most famous speeches in American history. In just a few minutes, Lincoln eloquently expressed the principles of human equality and the purpose of the Civil War, reinforcing the ideals of liberty and democracy. Lincoln's political skill, vision for Reconstruction, and personal qualities further solidify his legacy as one of the greatest presidents in American history. 2. Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th President of the United States 1869 to 1877, is often remembered for his military leadership during the Civil War. Grant was committed to the Reconstruction efforts in the South following the Civil War. He supported policies aimed at rebuilding the Southern economy, integrating freed slaves into society, and protecting their civil rights. Although the Panic of 1873 caused a severe economic depression, Grant took steps to stabilize the economy. He implemented measures to maintain the gold standard and worked to restore confidence in the financial system. Grant advocated for a peace policy towards Native Americans, aiming to reduce military conflict and promote assimilation through education and missionary work. He appointed Ulysses S. Parker, a Seneca Native American, as Commissioner of Indian Affairs, marking a significant step in his administration's efforts to improve relations with Native American tribes. Grant's administration successfully negotiated the Treaty of Washington in 1871, which resolved the Alabama claims with Great Britain. This agreement settled the long-standing dispute over British support for the Confederacy during the Civil War and established a precedent for international arbitration. 1. James Madison, the 4th President of the United States. James Madison, known as the Father of the Constitution, was a pivotal figure in American history. First up, Madison's leadership during the War of 1812. As president, Madison guided the country through this critical conflict with Great Britain. Despite early setbacks, Madison's determination helped secure a victory and foster national pride. The Battle of New Orleans, fought after the Treaty of Ghent was signed, became a symbol of American resilience. Madison's achievements extend beyond the battlefield. He was instrumental in drafting and promoting the U.S. Constitution, a foundational document for American democracy. His work, including the Federalist Papers, helped shape the principles of the federal government. Madison also made significant strides in foreign policy. The Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812 and restored peace with Britain, while while the Adams-Onis Treaty of 1819 resolved disputes with Spain and secured Florida for the United States. James Madison's presidency was defined by his foundational contributions to the nation's framework, his leadership during the War of 1812, and his efforts to promote economic stability and growth. His legacy as a president who navigated complex challenges and upheld the values of the American Republic is truly noteworthy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more history content. What do you think of James Madison's presidency? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time on Memento Solis.